Hello, it is me, Spamule Entertainment, and I'm here in the still PNG dimension because this is urgent. Just a few months ago, a game by Billy Basso called Animal Well released, and since then, we've been trying to uncover all the secrets in this game, but the thing that nobody's looking at is the lore. Billy Basso knows this. He knows we get so caught up in all the small details when it comes to finding items or new abilities. But he knows we won't look deep into the lore, and I'm here to prove him wrong. Billy Basso wants us to hyperfixate. He wants us to get down in the details, but we need to take a step back. And that's why I'm coming up with all this lore right here, right now, because the only way to solve this mystery is to live in the moment, which is why this is an improvised summary of the lore of Animal Well. It starts off with the basics. What do we know? What is Billy Basso hiding on the surface? We got bunnies, we got animals, and we got a well. Or is it? You see, a well is actually a big donut. That's why you loop around the screen when you go across. This is true in many countries. Bulgaria, China, Belgium, Switzerland, they're all donuts. And that's what makes this important. You see, this well, in quotation marks. See, quotation marks because it's the donut, not a well. This well is built on the moon. We know this from the secret ending with the moon. And what else is on the moon? The bunnies. 13 collectible bunnies. In Japanese and Korean, and I think East Asian culture in general, there is lore. Secret, real-world lore about the bunnies and the moon. It is said that bunnies, they take their potions, their sniveling potions, because they're disgusting creatures, and they use them to grant extra life to like the moon goddess or something. I'm not a historian, don't bully me. They take this potion and it affects everything. It gives them more life, and that's a very important power. One theme we see through all of Animal Well is the circle of life and the food chain. You got dogs eating, probably stuff. We don't really see them eating, but we know they're sniveling cowards and they probably eat stuff. We see the iguana, which is 20 times the size of a kangaroo, because this is a very realistic game, and it eats the hedgehog. We see the ostrich eating the beans, because your character is a Mexican jumping bean, but we'll get to that. That's why the ostrich is so important. The predators prey on the weak, and we know it's been like this for a long time, because in the UV murals, we can see the lynx chasing the rabbit, the bottom of the food chain. My guess is someone built this well on the moon to hold a bunch of animals, kind of like Noah's Ark, to keep them protected and safe. But the animals, they started eating each other, because that's what animals do. So right away, we're starting to see this sort of capitalistic cycle going on, where the predators are eating all the prey, and everyone's really pissed and only making minimum wage. This is very obvious, even from the start of the game. But someone, some sneaky devil, decided they wanted to change this. That's where the bunnies come in. Most of the animals were doing fine. They were following the food chain, the circle of life in the well. But the bunnies, they wanted more, and that's why they created the elixirs of life. This elixir of life allowed the prey to get an upper edge on the predators, and the predators did not like this. You see, that broke the entire chain, so the bunnies were in a pretty bad situation. They needed help. Help from who? The final boss, the Manicore. The Manicore was sealed away for an amount of time. This is integral to the story. I'm guessing the bunnies went to the Manicore. They said, "Hey, sup bruh, I got some potions. You got, laser beam eyes? what if we make a deal? You give me some of the laser beams, I give you some of the stuff. And the manticores, being huge drug addicts, could not refuse. So, we start to see the bunny and the manticore teaming up. That's one big faction. But as we said, a lot of the bigger animals, they ain't liking this. They ain't gonna let this fly. So the predators, they start getting a little more rowdy. They start thinking of rebelling against their new bunny overlords. We can see historical examples of this in the country of Canada in the Great Bunny Rebellion of 2006. So there is real world precedent for this, and you gotta understand that. Then we get the bunnies in an act of fear, caging up the children of the lynx, and this tips it over the edge. The animals band together, they seal the manticore, the bunny's muscle in all his operations. They seal him at the bottom of the well with the monkeys, and everyone hates monkeys, so the manticore is gonna get pretty angry at this. The bunnies then go, oh god, oh sugar honey iced tea, oh my fluffy tail bunny butt, I'm about to get whooped. So all the bunnies, they start hiding in really obnoxious places, and you can only play songs on the Ocarina of Time to find them. That's the genius of Billy Basso. So the bunnies are in hiding, but the manticore is now sealed down. And what happens next? Well, our character happens next. The manticore had a secret weapon, a Mexican jumping beam. That's why the kangaroo was so mad at you, because you took away some of his jumping power, and now his jumping power is only at 25%. That's why he jump scares you. The Mexican jumping beam then goes to all the animals guarding the flames that hold the manticore, collects the flames, goes down the well, and frees them. Now, this is integral. The manticore, unlike the rest of the ghosts, doesn't die when it gets hit by the light. It gets transported to the moon, and we're starting to see the symbolism that's at the heart of this game. The manticore is on the moon, but you are stuck in the well until you collect all 64 eggs and release the second manticore. You then use the manticore to fly to the house on the moon to get the big bunny wings. Now, that's the story of Animal Well. But what does it all mean? What is Billy Basso trying to tell us? Well, you see, this well goes deeper than we thought. There's a single room in this game that you cannot get to, and inside is a submarine. Submarine, moon, class warfare, Animal Well. It's communist propaganda the whole time. The bunnies, they wanted to erase the hierarchy of animals and wealth and food chains, so they made the health potions which they gave to the groundhog. This upset the capitalist bourgeoisie animals, and so they tried to throw the bunnies and manticore into the hiding. You see, when the well was first created, it was created by the United States government to send the animals to the moon, but the bunnies were farmed from Soviet Russia, and they were gonna let that stand. That's why it's so important. The bunnies then freed the bunnies with the help of the manticore, then established communism in the well, which then led to the jumping bean freeing the manticore and putting the communists on the moon. And that's so important because we can't let the communists get to the moon. It will destroy the American patriotism. And that's why I can no longer support Animal Well. That and manticores can't shoot laser eyes. Billy Basso, what are you doing?